Chelsea 1, Man United 2. That was categorically one of the most frustrating games of football I've ever seen. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And I would love to say I've got something a lot more fun to bring to you today. But I did a watch along. I've literally just ended my live stream and instantly hit the record button. And I have just come off of watching one of the most frustrating games I maybe have ever seen. It was so rough, man. This Man United versus Chelsea. I mean, Man United versus Chelsea, we haven't won at Old Trafford in 13 years. That continues. And we're going to have to wait another year. Unless we play them in like a cup or something. But at least as far as the Premier League goes, we're going to have to wait another year to try and right that wrong. This was a really tough game, man. It was a tough game to watch for so many reasons. But guys, before I get into it, if you're enjoying the content and you would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. And man, it's roastable today. There's lots and lots of copium going on, but we move. So, starting lineup looked pretty good. I thought Garnacho might start. He didn't. Wesley Fofana got the start in the centre-back spot over Tosin and Darabioyo. I was a little bit worried about that, but Fofana was one of the few positives in this game, other than limping off towards the end of it, which is a little bit worrying. He actually looked like he had a really good game. Loads of really good clutch tackles and stuff. So the game was typified by the first 4 minutes. Well, not even by the first 4 minutes, by an action that happened in the 4th minute. Robert Sanchez got a straight red card, sent off. Boom. Entire game plan gone. We had Estevao Willian, Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer in a centre attacking 3, and we had João Pedro up top, midfield pivot, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella left back, Chalobah and Wesley Fofana, and Reece James obviously finished off by Sanchez. Sanchez gets sent off, and something about Sanchez getting sent off made Enzo Maresca lose his ever-loving mind and absolutely just didn't know what to do with that information. Because, okay, so the first thing he did, which I was on the stream, I called it, and I was like, I guess Estevao comes off. Philip Jorgensen comes on, Estevao comes off. That's what happened. Right, I kind of get it. It makes sense. I would love to have seen Estevao get more of a chance in this game, but at the end of the day, he's the least experienced, and in this moment, when you're at 10 men, you need your most experienced players on the pitch to try and get something out of it. Okay, I understand that. So we've got Cole Palmer and Pedro Neto in attack. Okay, and then, all of a sudden, hang on. No, Pedro Neto's coming off as well, and Tosin's coming on. Why? What's going on there, mate? What's going on there? Okay, so we've now got like 4 centre-backs on the pitch and Reece James and Cucurella at once. 3 centre-backs on the pitch, Reece James and Cucurella at once. Okay, that's a little bit mad. We conceded 2 goals in the first half, which isn't super unexpected. Honestly, the first 10-15 minutes after Enzo Maresca made these changes, taking Neto off was the worst one. And the first 10-15 minutes was tragic, man. We looked so disorganised and we had absolutely no idea what was going on. That was the cause of the first goal. And the second goal actually was a similar sort of thing. Well, they weren't United weren't good today. This is the thing. This is the really annoying thing. Man United were not good today at all. We just opened the hallway for them to just come and score goals against us, man. Both of the goals were scrappy, last minute, really close to the goal line sort of thing, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. And, it wasn't about United being good. It was all about how bad Chelsea were today. I kind of don't blame the players, man. This is going to be a little bit of a recurring theme of this video, but for me, Enzo Maresca fumbled the bag today, man. He fumbled the bag. First mistake he made was taking Pedro Neto off because it removed all of our attacking intent. Unfortunately, not too long after that, like 10 minutes after that, Cole Palmer got taken off as well. Now, initially, I was like, what's going on? So it looks like Cole Palmer's having more issues with the groin struggles, the injury that he's had for a little while now. That's really worrying, by the way, because we're definitely really light in the centre of attack. So Cole Palmer comes off and gets replaced with Andre Santos. So what we've got now is 1 attacker in João Pedro, 3 midfielders, 5 defenders. Is it even that? Yeah, something like that. I can't even remember now. But it's not going well at all. It's not going well at all. So after we concede the 2 goals, the shape starts to come together. People start to figure out what they're doing and what's going on and this and that and the other. And it's like, right, okay, maybe we can get something back out of this. There's not much hope, but there's a little bit. Then Andre Santos, who also had a reasonably good game, by the way. Like, I really like his character. He is up for a bit of the dark arts and digging in and stuff. Like, I appreciate that. Then Andre Santos is on the end of a bad challenge from Casemiro, who gets his second yellow, who gets sent off as well. So we're like, right, okay, so we've got like 5 to 7 minutes left until the second half, or until the end of the first half. And I'm like, right, okay, so we could change up the thing now. We've got all of these defenders and all of these midfielders on, but now it's 10 and 10. They don't have the numerical advantage anymore. We don't need to worry about being weathered with an extra man. So we can put Garnacho on, right? That seems to make all of the sense in the world to me, right? Or even Jamie Gittins, who was on the bench as well. But at the end of the day, so what I wanted to see was Garnacho and Malagusto come on for Enzo Fernandez and Wesley Fofana. Wesley Fofana had played really well, but we didn't need that many centre-backs on. Reece James moves into midfield. Malagusto takes that right-back spot, becomes a bylining winger, gives us an attacking output and some defensive duty as well. Enzo Fernandez comes off. Reece James moves into midfield, as I've just said. And then we put Garnacho up top alongside João Pedro. And then we've got 2 attacking outputs. Garnacho 100% would wanted to have been a hero in this game. He would have played his heart out today had he been given the opportunity. And the absolute mad thing... do you know what? I'll get into this later. So we start the second half, 0 changes at all. So despite the fact that they've gone a man down and they were looking twitchy from the end of the second half, as soon as they went a man down, they bring on Ugarte and we change nothing. MARESCA changed absolutely nothing. So I'm like, do you want to win this game, bro? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, mate, it's there for the taking, man. Not even winning, like getting it back to a draw at least. But no, he decided to stick with his mountain of defenders and midfielders, with a very tired attacker in João Pedro, by the way, who, in general, again, struggled to get into this game. João Pedro needs a bit of a break, 100%. Really, he's getting marked out a lot. He's having to run around a lot. Obviously, he had so much work to do today, and he wasn't really able to impose himself on the game at all. Right, okay, so we've started the second half, so I'm like, okay, maybe in like 10 minutes we see a sub or something, and it's got to be an attacker, hasn't it? Okay, we see a sub. Malagusto comes on. Okay, so maybe we're at least going to do that thing that I was saying where we move Reece James into midfield, put Malagusto on the right so we can... No. Malagusto comes on for Mark Cucurella. And Malagusto plays left back. And then we take... Who was the other guy that got taken off? Can't remember. Well, someone else got taken off. And... No, Enzo Fernandez played the full 90 minutes, which I was... Oh, yeah, Wesley Fofana. Wesley Fofana comes off, looking injured and limping, which is again a worry because that's 2 players that we've lost in this game through injury, as well as losing Robert Sanchez for the next 3 games for a straight red card, as well as losing the game 2-1. Wesley Fofana comes off, and despite there being video footage and the camera kept clipping to Enzo Maresca and the team talking to Alejandro Garnacho, last minute he changes his mind and brings on Tyreek George. And puts him as the number 9. What is that even about? What is that about, man? I just don't know anymore, literally. You think you start to know football, and then you're like, okay, I think maybe it's... I'm not a manager, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that I've got the football chops to be able to, make the good decisions or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, I really, really couldn't figure this one out, man. Tyreek George has, the last few times he's played for us, made it feel like we were a man down, and we were already a man down. Do you know what I mean? So at this point, we're another man down because we put Tyreek George up front in order to bring João Pedro into the centre. Why didn't you put Garnacho on, man? Why didn't you put Jamie Gittins on? Why are we still sticking with all of these defenders and all of these midfielders when what we needed was attacking intent? We were already losing the game. We were literally already losing the game. And instead of going for it and taking the risk to protect goal difference at this point in the season? Are you mad, bro? Are you mad? Mate, Enzo Maresca's really, really fumbled the ball here, I think. I'm really, really disappointed. I've backed Enzo Maresca pretty solidly as well. I've praised his adaptability. I've praised his tactical acumen. I've praised the majority of the decisions that he's made. But I think he panicked today. I think he panicked today, and I think he panicked twice, because I think he panicked when he took Pedro Neto off and put Tosin Adarabioyo on, which ultimately didn't work because we conceded very shortly afterwards. And I think he panicked when he had an opportunity to put an attacker on at half-time and didn't, which he should have done, because we could have changed the flow of the game because it was 10v10. And then I think he panicked a third time when he put Tyreek George on instead of Alejandro Garnacho. For what? Do you think Tyreek George is going to get you the goal? Like, no. Alejandro Garnacho played 49 games last season, 36 of them in the Premier League, and got 21 combined goals and assists across all competitions. Yet you put Tyreek George on when we were 2-0 down against Man United after not having won at Old Trafford for 13 years. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not as hyperbolic as to start screaming Maresca out because everyone has a bad day. Do you know what I mean? But if we see something like this again, then I will start to worry. This is a real shock for me, man. A real shock for a manager who has always struck me as being adaptable and tactically flexible and, you know, willing to respond to the thing that's happening in front of him. He panicked and shut up shop against the Man United team that are categorically one of the worst teams that Man United have ever had. Benjamin Sesko got hooked because he didn't do anything. Amad Diallo not really doing anything. You know, the two goal scorers were their aging midfielders. Their attack had absolutely nothing going into it. So we could have afforded, it wasn't like the reason that they weren't scoring with Mbermo and Sesko was because we had so many centre-backs on. They're just not playing that well. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Man United didn't play well at all. So why not absolutely try and take advantage of that when they go a man down and put a Garnacho on, or even a Jamie Gittins, man, some pace, some, you know, it should have been Garnacho. For me, it should have absolutely been Garnacho. The Malagusto on the left back thing is kind of weird and kind of annoying, but the thing that's really ground my gears about this game was putting Tyreek George on at that moment and not giving Garnacho the chance, who out of any player that you could have brought on off the bench had the absolute most motivation to play that game. Now, if something comes out and is like Garnacho was injured in the warm-up, or, you know, wasn't feeling like he was ready for the event, okay, we'll talk about that at the time, and I can only comment on what I've seen. But if it comes out that Garnacho was ready and available and you spoke to him and got him to warm up and started giving him tactical instruction and then changed your mind at the last minute to put Tyreek George on, for what? Absolutely don't get that at all. So really disappointing loss, guys. What I haven't talked about yet is the goal. Trevor Chalobah pulled us one back and did absolutely everything he could to get us back into the game. We had a goal ruled out for offside as well from Wesley Fofana not long before he got hooked. So we tried. We only had, like, when we scored, that was the only shot on target we'd had in the whole game. So, and at the end of the day, we were 10 men, 10, you know, we were 10 men for a lot of it, but we started with the second half started 10-10. So we absolutely should have, like, I just don't get it, man. Enzo Fernandez, for me, it is wild that Enzo Fernandez stayed on for 90 minutes. Like, I don't get that at all. Enzo Fernandez wasn't creating very well. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't linking play together. He wasn't arriving, crashing late in the box and trying to make things happen. He wasn't like putting looping long balls over to anyone, trying to make things happen. And the fact that he stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes is crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy. I await Maresca's press conference with bated breath. I think this is going to be a really interesting one. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. That is my general assertion of the game. Only a couple of people can come out with positives for this game, and it is, for me, Trevor Chalobah. Wesley Fofana had a good game, just a shame that he got injured. Santos for character and spirit. Other than that, everyone was a bit, well, I mean, just dumbfounded by the situation they found themselves in, man. So, like I say, for me, Maresca is largely to blame. I gave, you know, for me, I was kind of willing to go with what he'd done until we got to halftime, didn't see any subs, and then he put Tyreek George on instead of Garnacho, and I was just like, oh, mate, we've just lost that. That's just lost you the game. Do you know what I mean? It's just lost you the game. Tyreek George is like playing with a man down at the best of times. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there, but I will catch up with you all very, very soon. If any of you were on the live stream, thanks so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. I had a great time talking to you all. The banter was great. 16 likes is my high so far. I'm going to try and do them every now and again. My setup is slowly improving, and I think the quality was a bit better today, and I didn't struggle quite as much as I did, so I will maybe try and come back for the Lincoln game, because hopefully that's going to be a positive one, right? Nice one, guys. I hope you all have a better day than I've just had, but I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.